Hello everybody, so today we are going to be making bowl covers, reusable bowl covers. Okay, and these will be with either the PDF download pattern or with the kit. So the PDF pattern and the kit come with instructions showing you how to do it, full colour instructions with pictures, access to this video. The PDF download will come with this quarter circle template for the different sizes, and when you cut them out it's set up in layers so that you can print each one individually, the different sizes. You'll get an 8, a 7, a 6 and a 5 inch quarter circle template. The kit will come with them pre-cut and with the elastic as well that you will also need to make them. This is fold over elastic for the edges. Okay, with the kit as well, so they'll all be pre-cut, but you will get cotton. If you haven't got the kit and you're just working off the PDF download, you will need cotton. You'll need a fat quarter. A fat quarter should make 4. You also need some of this stuff. This is FoodSafe. FoodSafe polyurethane laminate. I would recommend buying the FoodSafe PUL to use with your bowl covers, simply because it's been properly tested. Okay, and again you'll need your you'll need some fold over elastic for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow along with the PDF instructions because it doesn't come with the fabric pre-cut, and I want to show you how to properly use your quarter circle templates. Okay, so let's go and do that. Okay, so I've got my fat quarter here. As you can tell by this corner, I've already cut one out. That was for my tester to do my photos for the instructions. Okay, so what you want to do then is you want to take the size that you want to make. So I've already made a little 5 inch one. Okay, so I'm going to take my 6 inch template. Okay, and you can see here it says place on fold, place on forward. So these corners, this corner here, has to be placed where you fold it over twice. Okay, so I'll explain. Okay, so you lay it flat. Okay, then you'll fold it up as if you're going to fold it into 4. Okay, so I like to measure it here, so to make the most of it and to make sure that you're not wasting fabric. Don't like wasting fabric. Okay, I'm going to make it as narrow as I can. Okay, like that. Okay, and then you're going to fold it over again like that so that you've got a double corner, that corner there. Okay, okay, and you can fold it the other way as well if you wish, so that you can actually see okay, so that you make sure that it is okay. And so what you have to do, there you are, look, you see? Okay, so that's where the double fold is. Okay, so it needs to be on that, otherwise you will end up with a semicircle. Trust me, I have done that myself. Okay, so as long as you place that on the quarter circle, I'm just trying to make it as small as I can. Okay, so there's not much in the way of edging. Okay, I'm just going to turn it around that way so it's easier for me to stand here. Okay, so I've placed the corner, as you can see, on the double fold. Okay, so nice and neatly on the double fold. Okay, and then I like to, you can draw it, you can draw around with a pen, but I like to just, there we go straight with my rotary cutter. Okay, and when you fold it out, you've got a circle. Okay, so you can see now in my fabric I've got 2 circle holes. Okay, so you would do that if you want to do them all in a oneer, bulk them. That's what I tend to sometimes do when I'm making a lot of them. Okay, so I've got that, and then you want to do it with your PUL as well. Okay, exactly the same. So what I would say is you need to be quite careful with this because it's quite slippy when you fold it in on itself. So again, just to make sure I've got as much as I can. It's quite slippy, this stuff. Okay, fold it there, and I'll fold it back on itself. Round this way, make sure it's all neatly put together. Comme ça, like that. Okay, and again, the corner needs to be bang on that little join there. Okay, so make sure that they're all, the layers are all the same length. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do it from this angle. Okay, my blade is not very sharp, and this is quite slippy fabric, so mind your fingers. Okay, got a little there. I definitely need to change my blade. Put that out of the way. Okay, and there you have another circle. Da -da 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 -da. Okay, so now that you've got your circles, what you need to do is you need to then sew them with the fold over elastic around the outside. Okay, and to get that started, what you've got to do, place your cotton fabric face down, okay, and your FoodSafe PUL on top of it, okay, with the shiny side up. Okay, shiny side is the most waterproof. I think you can do it the other way, but I like shiny side up. Okay, so you've got them there like that. Okay, and then this is why I like clips. You got to clip them together. Interestingly enough, this is one of the few videos where you don't have to do any ironing unless you want to iron your fabric to make sure it's really flat. You've got to be careful when you're ironing the PUL. You've got to do it through the fabric on the other side. Okay, but I'm a bit lazy. I tend not to bother. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that that's a little bit more even. You will notice that they're not 100% exactly the same size. Okay, but you're gonna make them as even as you can. Okay, because the elastic will hold them together. Okay, just work your way around, and what you've got to do is you've got to leave a bit of a gap. Okay, a bit of a gap, because that's where you're going to start your sewing. Okay, so what you need to do is you'll notice that the PUL has a little line down the middle that enables you to fold it in half. So you've got to get the end of your fold over elastic, your FOE, okay, and you put half of it on one side, on the cotton side, half of it over the other side. Just pop a little clip in it so you don't lose it, okay, so that on either side the fabric is caught, and then we need to go over to the sewing machine and get sewing. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so before we sew, what you have to do, what you'll see in the instructions, is you have got to change from a straight stitch to a zigzag stitch. Okay, so down here on the right are all my stitches that I can do on this very basic sewing machine. I always go with C, which is just a straight zigzag. You can go with D if you want, which is a triple zigzag. I just find C works best for me. So I set it to C, and the stitch length is 3. and that is what you want before we start to sew. If you don't do that, you will not get the requisite amount of stretch. It won't tighten up around the bowl cover. Okay, so let's get the sewing going. Okay, so here we are ready to sew. So as you can see, we've got the fold over elastic over both sides of the two fabric layers. Okay, so if you're not used to using fold over elastic, I would take this section fairly slow to begin with, because there's a knack to it. I have done a little front and back stitch at the start of the sewing just to trap it in. Okay, and then you need to leave your needle in. Okay, before we get on with it, I want to show you this, this is one that I have sewn already, and you can see, if I bring it back far enough, there we are, you can see how it's no longer a circle anymore. It's kind of like a little, I mean, it's a little tiny little shallow pot, because you've stretched the elastic, and you've with the zigzag stitch, it will now stretch and sit tight over your bowl. Okay, so that's what you're aiming for. So making sure that you keep the elastic on either side of the fabric as you sew. What you have to do as you sew is you have to pull it. Now I pull it quite far, pretty much as far as it'll go, okay, and then you ease it off ever so slightly. You hold it down and you sew. You hold it down and you sew. Okay. You pull it ever so slightly and you take the clips out as you go. You pull it as far as it'll go and ease off. This is what keeps it taut. Just going to put the needle back in there. Sometimes what happens is if you don't have the needle kept in, it slips out. Okay, all the way around, making sure that as you go, both of the sides of the fabric are in place. Okay, pull it, make sure it's trapped both layers. Okay, and just keep doing that as you go. Pull it, slightly ease off, pull it, ever so slightly ease off. Okay, and I've come to the end. Okay, so I'm just going to run over, making sure that the two, snip these. Okay, things get out of the way. You make sure that it's almost like you're going to carry on sewing with the end over the other bits of elastic, just to make sure that you've trapped the free layer, as it were, the free bit of elastic over the previously sewn piece. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to leave a decent sized tail. So I leave about 1 inch. Okay, and then I stretch it as I was going to do before, and I fold over. I hope you can see that. I fold over a little end piece. This just neatens it up. Okay, and then I stretch it as I would the others as before, making sure, and you can see that it's just neatly, ever so neatly, you don't get the raw edge, and then you just sew that again, and when you get to the end of it, just do a little back stitch. Okay, lift up, and there you are. You see, you've got that shape. You've got that shape, that little kind of bowl type shape, and it'll stretch over your bowl because of the zigzag stitching. So there you have it. You have one of your bowl covers. Well done.